Welcome back. If it has joined us, you're watching Channels Television, celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. This is News at 10, a reminder of our major stories. Boko Haram terrorists released new videos showing some of the abducted Chibok girls. Wants government to release their members in exchange for the girls. The parents of Dorcas Yakubu identify the girl who spoke in the new video as their daughter. The Nigerian army declares journalist Ahmed Sekilda and 2 others wanted in connection with the latest video of the Chibok girls. And DRC military blames ADF rebels for the deaths of 30 civilians in the village of Rwangoma in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo. Do remember, all our top stories can be found on our websites, channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Do visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on a mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. Now, besides the news and updates, the Channels TV app has an eyewitness feature. We encourage you to use it to share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. Let's take a look at some of the pictures and videos that you sent into our portal. We begin with this one sent in from Idere community in Oyo State. It shows this commercial motorcycle carrying about 4 young men. Eyewitness reporter wants relevant authorities to stop this rising trend. We're in Lying Zomo area in Zaria, Kaduna State. It shows the aftermath of a road accident involving 2 vehicles. Eyewitness reporter advises motorists would adhere to traffic regulations to avoid incidents like this. This next photo is from Bida Mokwa Road in Niger State. It shows a flooded portion of the road which forced motorists to remain on one side of the road for several hours. Eyewitness reporter wants the government to create larger drains and, of course, to fix the road. We're still talking about roads, but this time the impact of erosion in Idiato local government area in Imo State. Eyewitness reporter calls on state authorities to intervene. Our journey ends in Eza local government area in Ebonyi State. We see a dilapidated school building identified as Joint Community School. It's in Achiago. Eyewitness reporter calls on the state government to fix it. Just before the break, we were talking to co-founder of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign, Dr. Obi Ezekwesili, on that new video released by the Boko Haram sect showing in which one of the girls was identified by her parents, the Yakubus who identified their parents. Dr. Ezekwesili, thank you for staying with us. You were talking before the break about the government's negotiating with Boko Haram, but do you think there should be a change of strategy towards finding those girls?
I think that the government just needs to be coherent in its response to these girls. The truth is that there is an interagency squabbling that must be going on as to what direction to follow in respect to the rescue of our Chibok girls. This interagency squabble leads to a lot of bureaucratic inertia, and then at the end of the day, people just, let's say, we're committed. We don't doubt the expression of commitment, but the real commitment shows up in the sustained, focused, result-oriented approach that also takes into consideration that the parents of our Chibok girls are dignified Nigerians. Being poor should not rob you of your dignity. The contempt with which these parents have been treated since their daughters were abducted on the 14th of April 2014 by 2 successive governments, it really makes me mad. Because it should not be so in a country like Nigeria. Most of us came from poverty. The fact that our Chibok girls' parents do not have the wherewithal to be called political elite should not lead to their children children being less than a priority. That's the way I see it right now. Because this attempt at saying that it is difficult to make a decision. Make a decision. Make a decision. Leadership is about decision. Let's make a decision. We can't have 218 young women still missing for 2 years and 4 months. And occasionally their news will jolt all of us into saying something. And then we all go back into our lives. Well, we don't. We have stayed on advocating for these girls. Today is 838 days of our daily advocacy at the Unity Fountain. We will not give up. Hope endures. Our girls must be found. We're going to go out there on the street again, demanding that President Buhari's government should bring back our Chibok girls. It is time to make a decision and make it firmly and decisively.
Dr. Ezekwesili, thank you so much for joining us tonight on the News at 10. Our hope and our prayer is that these girls will be found and that they will be returned to their parents. The rest of Nigeria also feels the pain of the parents. Some Nigerians have been reacting to the video purportedly released by a faction of the Boko Haram sect. And one of them is Senator Ali Modu Sharif, a former governor of Borno State. The senator, speaking on our program Sunday Politics, says the sect is a deadly group which has killed many Nigerians, including 3 of his own relatives. He, however, denied having links with the Boko Haram. On the crisis rocking the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Sharif accuses the 2 state governors of the PDP of fueling the crisis.
He was sorry.
Is it true that you have links with Boko Haram?
How can I have a link with Boko Haram? Boko Haram killed 3 of my brothers. Tell me in Nigeria which governor lost his brother, same father, same mother to Boko Haram? When I was a governor of Borno State, within the 8 years, Boko Haram has not taken 1 local government.
But they say that it was your actions and inactions that caused the emergence of Boko Haram sect.
Boko Haram has been in existence long before. It started from Yobe in Kanama long before I ever became a governor. But the point is that they could not succeed.
Are you ready to reconcile with the party now?
Of course, the party is, as long as reconciliation of the party is paramount important to every PDP member. But we will not let PDP to be hijacked by 1 or 2 people.
Who are the people?
Maybe Governor of River State and Governor of Aisha.
Looks like you're ready to fight to the end.
Not fighting to the end. Any day that the party really wanted to do the right thing, Sean, I can tell you that I'll resign tomorrow. If as long as you do a convention in Abuja, carrying everybody, not convention that is pre-planned. You know who you want to produce. You know the chairman. You know the secretary. Those that we put as committee to serve in the various committee will never serve. They go to Port Harcourt and their names are not there. That's not a convention as far as I'm concerned.
Let's make a switch now to talk about the level of infrastructure decay, particularly that of bridges and roads in the country, which can be attributed to low maintenance culture. However, there now appears to be some level of efforts from the federal government to reverse the trend, with the commencement of work on the Apapa-Ijora Bridge in Lagos State and the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, to mention a few. However, some road users are receiving this with some skepticism, wondering why government allows things to completely deteriorate before commencing repairs. In this next report, our correspondent Oroluwa Shonibare reports on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway and the expectations of Nigerians.
Accident scenes like this are common sights on highways in Nigeria, most especially the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, regarded as the busiest yet one of the most dangerous roads in the country. For a highway constructed 38 years ago, one would expect there would be a regularity in its maintenance, but this has not been the case. The road faced so much neglect that it developed potholes, causing gridlock, which motorists say is most frustrating.
Like yesterday now, I spent more than 5 hours in this hold up from Magborodie to Baga. There is big traffic there. There is no movement. So they should come and help us because of this road. We don't know what they are doing since all these days. Like 2 months ago now, we are in this problem.
Maybe today is weekend. That is why everything is less. This traffic on this road is nothing to write home about. There is no way you can spend 2 hours from Ibadan to Lagos. There is no way, because you will not be able, you won't be able to speed. The road is so bad to the extent that if care is not taken, your tire can even pull out.
Thankfully, the resumption of work by the construction companies on the highway has blown some air of hope that the nightmare will soon be over. But there are those like this road user who questions the cost and pace of the project.
But the pace, in fairness, is suspicious. Like I told some of my friends, I said, whether the issue of giving the 40 billion to Lagos, whether that thing is not true. Because if that thing is true, the 40 billion naira work on this road is supposed to be a mass than this. So that's why I say the pace is really slow.
As the work progresses, one thing the government has in mind is safety. And this is what the head of the Federal Road Safety Corps is ensuring the construction companies adhere to, as accidents occur more often at this time.
We've had some crashes on Lagos-Ibadan, but it's the beginning of the year and the construction work going on. I think relatively most of the crashes we experienced occurred at night, up to the last one of last Saturday. I had meetings with the Nupeng PTD chairman on the need to curtail the movement of the tankers at night, which is a policy already pronounced by the association. So I believe with the crashes we're experiencing here, there's a relative decline, but we need to do more. That has to do with the patience, the need for tolerance, endurance of road users. The entire stretch is undergoing construction now, and there's what we call planning. I think we need to replan our trips nowadays. As we are going on the road, you need to plan your trip. If you have spent 1.5 hours before on Lagos-Ibadan, I think you should add another one now because of the construction going on. And when you get to areas of construction, you need to comply with traffic regulations.
At the moment, there is applause for the government in reviving the project. But what motorists who ply the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway expect is an improvement in the maintenance culture, because their lives depend on it. Orolu Ashunibare, Channels Television News.
Political leaders will be more accountable if citizens have access to information on government policies, decisions, and the run-ins of government online. U.S. Democratic Senator Edward Markey has been in the country sensitizing Nigerians on the benefits of accessibility to the internet, which he also says will help the country curb insecurity.
When you have an internet that is accessible, then the citizens in the country know a lot more about that government. And 20 years ago in the United States, the records of a city, the records of a government, they were not online. So people couldn't know what was going on. Today, all across America, in cities, in towns, in states, in a federal government, now the information's online. So that's a good way then to keep government officials accountable, because there's a much easier access to the information which the government has. There is greater security for a country when there is internet, because the information is available to everyone. There is greater job creation, there's greater health, there's greater education. It makes a society stronger. Bad people aren't going away, and some bad people may use the internet. But the truth is, it empowers good people far more than it will ever empower bad people. The only antidote, the true antidote to bad people, is giving even more power to good people to be able to combat it. And they need the information, they need the jobs, they need the capacity to be able to do that. In a modern era, it's the internet that makes that.
Still ahead on the news at 10, we'll be discussing the state of our roads. Also, Art Review tonight takes a look at an exhibition of paintings and sculptures in Pieces of Me. Please join us again.